Okay, you can't really see my hands, can you? Wrong light. Hold on. Sitting there signing, and it's like somebody covering your mouth while you're learning how to lip read.
And the bus will be open tomorrow.
Yay, the bus will be open tomorrow. You hear that, guys? Welcome to the Wise One channel. Good morning. It is Sunday, and we talk about the wise way. Huh?
Can you see my game?
What about your game?
Can you see it in your YouTube?
Can we see us? No, we can't really see the game.
Okay.
I've got a big. No, I'm just like in the vantage point where I block. Let's yeah. Yeah. So, one of the very founding points of the wise one, because this is the wise one channel and I post every time, and I want to talk about inclusivity, being inclusive, being inclusive, treating everybody with respect and humanity and caring. I mean, growing up as human as I am, with all the flaws that I had that helped me learn, some of the points that I make on here from my perspective. And it helps me embrace that people are human. And notice those with ADHD or those with autism are set as if they are different and apart. I've been treated less than on so many occasions, treated as if I were less than, and I'm not. And the people who did it, they're not any less. That's just how they're taught to be. Because if you put small children in a room, or you put somebody who's been out in the middle of nowhere and hasn't had social interference, they you you watch and you see and they show you they don't really have this person is a bad person, or I don't like this person because they've yet to have a negative association with people and the likeness. I mean, if you get bit by a dog or all dogs bad, that's something that we formulate. Um, some people are different, so we treat all those differences in a certain category. I've watched, not everybody's treated this way, not all autistic, not all ADHD, because it's amazing how, as many different people, there are as many different experiences as there are many different perceptions of what happens. And when we sit there and we consider that, it's odd how one might think that an autistic person might be a little bit robotic or somehow just imitating humans when they are indeed just as human as everybody else. Because I am just as human as everybody else. And if we treat somebody, the result of treating somebody or being treated like we're just as competent as they are, just as equally feeling, and we're treated just like everybody's treated just like they are equally capable of thoughts. Sure, we perceive different thoughts, feelings, and experiences. The fact that we share this thing where we have feelings and we have thoughts, but it's harder to understand for somebody who doesn't understand how to express thoughts, feelings. And so we might categorize them as psychopathic or sociopathic. And if there is such a category, if they really are people out there that don't have feelings, that don't do things. I don't know. I guess we are sociopathic because we don't follow social norms. And I have to wonder if non-sociopathic people are depends on if the social norms are unhealthy, and if following social norms and not knowing how to undo or recreate a new society where social norms are more healthy. We create the social norms, honestly, because we are of society. We are of humans. And that is the thing that I preach, where we recognize the great divine, the divinity within ourselves, the divinity within our connection to each other, and the divinity within the connection to the earth. So, in order to understand that each of us has differences, and to celebrate how these differences come together like jigsaw puzzle pieces, or how we accept ourselves and accept others and accept that they're just as divine as we are, and that we have a greater divinity, helps the way of healing traumatic wounds. That's the way I feel. Treating people differently is a taught thing or a fear based thing. We recognize it. We, we understand that not every experience has to be fear based. Not every experience has to be based on what we were taught before, but what we can experience in new. This new curiosity really opens up creativity and really opens up the door for a connection between each other. Honestly, I'm not, there are certain individuals I am not ready to accept and welcome, and I have had adverse reactions to. So, on the flip side, putting a boundary down for those who would continue to hurt you, or to hurt you all over again, or to cause trauma all over again. So, as an autistic person who has an autistic person who may cross boundaries, no matter their intent, no matter if they're just trying to be nice, or they really want the best, letting them harm you as if you don't have value causes a reoccurring trauma, which causes the way we interact with ourselves, each other, the great divine, all the more injured. So, being inclusive in a healthy manner where we can put down boundaries for those who are harmful to our living, breathing organism that we are of society, and not to isolate them or ourselves, because then they can't form the connection, which is just as if we can't form connections, harms us and harms great divine and harms great divinity between each other. So it shows a bit of respect. So respect can be considered this way of allowing connection and allowing boundaries so that connections can be healthy.
Talk to your people.
Huh?
Talk to your people.
What about people?
I said, you're on the video. Go.
I know, but you are a great distraction. Yes, he is a wonderful distraction. And we love him. But yeah. Even if you don't put boundaries to people, but put the boundaries to their behaviors and learn to walk away. And that can show respect, like walk away from their behaviors or instill a consequence. You do this, that hurts me. I will put this boundary down. This consequence will occur, and from there you go. And you have to instill it, otherwise, is it really a boundary? And does that show respect? It's amazing because those who abuse or those who are just domineering and those who are overbearing, come to find those that they're bearing down upon with more respect when they put down boundaries and they respect themselves and they respect and say this is how it's going to be whether you like it or not, um, tend to like that person all the more. It's weird because it's like, what are you going to do to stop me? And no, this is what I'm going to do. And they tend to be like, oh, good. That's. They seem to need that. They seem to need that health. Um, that this is what's going to happen. This is a boundary. This is a don't go there. So odd. The relationship can be more healthy. They're like, you're gonna lose me, and if you walk away because ooh, you don't like the way I hurt your feelings. Um, those individuals, you're just going to hurt them more and hurt yourself more. Because if they don't understand where the boundaries is, and if you haven't done it for so long, and then all of a sudden you do it because it's new to you, um, they're gonna the bigger the fit they throw, the bigger the meltdown and that they their expectations, the more they mourn and have an anger episode of or mourn and expectation is huge. And it's just how humans can behave. The important part is that you're healthy and when they're ready, they will treat other people with more respect. But if they constantly think of this is the person that I can walk all over, because they don't have boundaries and they don't know this. They're not even trying. It's just something that they do. That's not inclusive. That's tearing down the inclusive organism. So if you see somebody's different, but they're healthy, and you see that they're doing something that you innately feel is like wrong, weird, or different. But if you take a moment, check and go, nobody's getting hurt, and you learn to accept them, that's inclusion where it's on a healthy matter. Those are the checks that you have to look for. Checks and balances that allow for the relationship to grow and thrive. The goal is to thrive in peace, happiness, self-sustaining peace and happiness. And to get to somebody's core and to get to your core, the whole point is to understand yourself so that you better understand about what's going on around you and with the people that you're connecting with. You can have a better, deeper connection with somebody. It's funny because I was watching a video on people who created the replica AIs, and she created it because she lost somebody and she wanted to give that person's memory a place that she can visit, a certain relationship. And what it did is it helped her become reflective of herself. And the other people interviewed around her said that she was just a better friend. So the more she learned about herself, the more she could deepen her connection with each other, which is a divine connection when we have a connection between each other that is healthy. And some people aren't there. I've noticed that some people are so trusting of what's bad for them because they've been through trauma, and if they're trained to stay away from what's good because they're trauma induced. And so they only are attracted to and they only, vibe with harmful traits. And to be inclusive, I put down boundaries because I don't want to revisit. I don't want things that are thriving to be cut down in a way that it's not going to thrive or grow back. And it's hard talking about this in generalization because I know as an autistic, I like clarity. Let's specify. Let's get things. But the thing is, I'm talking to a group of people where any sort of situation could be associated with that, and any sort of relationship could be associated with that. And so there's an exception to every rule because every rule has an exception. So it's not a rule, a thriving point towards a goal to be healthy. It's not a rule. It's healthy and something that self-sustains. Then you gain more than you can put in. And everybody else gains as well. So understanding yourself helps you understand others. So it's not selfish to spend time with yourself unless it's stopping other people that greatly depend on you for life-sustaining oxygen. Then that's, narcissism, where your wants, needs, desires stop other people, in which case you're really codependent and you should probably strive to have a wider, more supportive circle. Yeah. And do it. He's sexy. He's a distraction. It's a very handsome distraction. And no doubt forms judgments on the things that I say. because I've taught him. I've been very judgmental about what he says. So, 20 minutes in. Treat people like they're human, and you'd be surprised the results you get out. Trying to think, did that conclusion make sense? So on the next video, I'm just going to be talking about stuff and coffee. And I hope you guys do well. If you had homework, it would be to treat others like they're human, like sentient beings. And how would that change your life? All right. I love you guys. You guys have a good one. And until we next meet.